I'm really excited to be here. And as far as I'm a journalist myself, I will tell you that one of the most interesting things is going to be happening right now at TDeFi stage. So, right now you'll hear me even better. Yes? Can you hear me better, right? Okay, I don't hear you. Okay, be louder, please. So, as I mentioned, let's discuss today crypto and media, the views, perspective, and chaos. For this, I'm really excited to have on the stage. Please give a big hand to Laura Inamedinova, founder and CEO and LKY Consulting. Please be louder. Oh, okay. Then, please welcome on this stage, probably this microphone is better, Triska Hamid, editorial director at Wamda. Please be louder. Yeah. Thank you so much. We are also welcoming on this stage Kristina Lucrezia Cornèr, editor-in-chief at Cointelegraph. Please give her a big hand. And last but not least, we have one gentleman in our women's company. Please give a big hand to Walid Abou Zaki, founder at Unlock Blockchain. Please be louder. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I probably in that case should sit. Check out how we're sitting. And I really hope that everybody here on stage will hear me and you will see me. As I said earlier, I'm a journalist myself. So for me, it's very important to know what is happening right now with the media and crypto. Taking into account like everybody who is actually here, they've been like in this space for a couple of years. So they are following these cycles when we have bear, how bull market cycle. So the question is, how the media is doing when we are right now in the very long bear cycle. How the media is doing right now. Maybe, Kristina, you'll start.
Well, I'm sorry. I was just overwhelmed by breaking news 5 minutes ago. I don't know if all of you know already. So Google has picked up Coinbase for online payments and cloud. Which bear market are we talking about?
But that's the
news
thing.
Are happening every day, every second, every moment. And I think this is one of the most exciting time because any crisis is an opportunity.
Yes.
And well, don't tell me that there are no news. Like basically it just happened 5 minutes ago. So
no, news are definitely happening all the time. And when you can see, and this is a very good people at the conferences. So we cannot say it's like very bear market. Nobody is like doing nothing. On the contrary, people are really active. But also, when we are still talking about this period of time, okay, I'll ask you frankly, how are things with the marketing right now with Cointelegraph?
Actually, it's all going very well. And this is a great sign that the market has become because during the bear market, we actually can work more on perfectioning the solutions, perfectioning the marketplaces. And I think this is very important for our market because when you're always bullish, sometimes you don't have time to like reflect on what's going on. And you actually accumulate risks just because it's all too positive to be true. And all the projects are like chasing these opportunities of expansion rather than concentrating on what they are having already. So in terms of maturing, in terms of reflection, I think the bear market is much more interesting and much more productive. And yeah, we don't lack any marketing,
No,
partners.
Yeah, but I'll jump right now to Walid. Walid, please tell me how Unlock Blockchain is doing. How Unlock Blockchain is doing.
Unlock Blockchain is doing great. This project started a little bit early since 2017. of the blockchain
Of
and
the
crypto
first,
wave.
let's say,
yeah.
full cycle.
Yeah. So we're growing with the industry. We are part of this ecosystem. We're trying to bridge this part of the world with what's happening outside and vice versa. So we reflect really what's happening in Dubai, and the block is growing at the same pace that the market and the blockchain industry is growing in the Middle East.
Thank you. Right now, I would actually jump to a company which is doing marketing, Laura. So in this case, in your case, how you have been observing what is happening like throughout like a year ago, and what is happening when you're talking about LKY consulting right now?
I think now, oh, awesome. So I've been in this space since 2016, and I've seen the ups and downs and everything. And what I noticed these days is the market is just maturing very well. Kristina has said there are still projects who are doing market. They want to spend money. They're quality projects. They're not a projects where there's without any kind of utility. Hey, we have a pretty picture. Let's raise 200, 300K just because projects are actually layer one infrastructure. They're strong projects. And when we talk about media from the marketing agency perspective, the very interesting thing is the prices are actually dropped a little bit. So for us as a marketing agency, we're getting a discounted deals. Our clients are happy. But what really concerns me more is, can I get a little bit more of the audience attention? Everyone who is listening in, how much do you really want to be top crypto media outlet? Who wants to be featured in the CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, Forbes? Who? No one wants to get featured anywhere? Only 1, 2 people? 3, 4? Literally. The thing is, what I noticed, the biggest shift in marketing, before you would talk 17, 18, you'd be like, we want to get featured, we want to be there, we want to get all the publications. Nowadays, we want to focus more on building the community, building the impact. I want to challenge the media outlet. What are you guys doing to stay on top of this trend where people are spending more money in the community building than in PR, which I personally think is not the right way? But what are you guys doing on that?
Well, you know, when I was just overwhelmed here by like all the people who want to be at Cointelegraph, I was working on a breaking. So we just published, and I'm really proud of my team and of myself, because I, you know, try to select, and this is what I'm living, because you always focus on quality content. Because if we were only going to you know where we can find an opportunity to gain money, then we would just have lost our brand altogether. So I think it's all about quality. And then if you focus on quality, if you focus on content, if you focus on the value of decentralization for the community, then the rest will come.
By the way, Kristina, we'll definitely jump on the quality issue. This is a very interesting topic and very exciting. But before that, I'll ask Triska. So in this case, because you're covering the startup ecosystem, can you please say how, like, the interest of Wamda has increased towards when we're talking about Web3 startups?
So Wamda has been around for more than 10 years, covering the entrepreneurship ecosystem across the MENA region. And when we first started, we were writing about shops that were opening. We were writing about Facebook businesses that were starting up. And the evolution of the startup ecosystem has changed how we cover the ecosystem. So what we're seeing is greater interest and investment in startups, but we have specialist publications on here. Everyone here is either in the space or very interested in the space. You go outside of this hall and people don't really understand what you're talking about. We kind of try to bridge that lack of understanding by making it more accessible and easier to understand for the layman or people generally who are interested in the startup ecosystem. So we are seeing a rise in fintech, and that initially started off with startups, but that has developed into crypto-based startups. We're seeing more NFT-based startups and those in the metaverse as well. So in terms of how we cover it, it's looking at the startups themselves, how the trends are changing, what investors are interested in. And, you know, we see the big buzz here, definitely growing, but there's definitely a need to reach out to the layman and make it more make it easier to understand.
By the way, talking about the quality and talking about how to make crypto topics other people understand. Here, I would like to drop another news which has happened just the other day, and everybody has heard about that. And famous economic medias, the headlines were the following: Binance crypto exchange was attacked by a hacker, loses over $50. If in fact, what happened? BNB chain was attacked, was exploited by a hacker. So this is a thing when we are actually talking how to deliver properly the information, so people who are not so really familiar with crypto topics would not be, in this case, misleaded. So can you please dwell upon this? Probably, yeah, from you. I'm sure that you'll be covering this topic as well.
I have two possible answers for this.
Yes.
So the first answer, Binance Smart Chain to be hacked or Binance to be hacked, Binance sells better. Yeah. So the idea
That's why
of,
the thing is
the
that
idea of
CZ was
pushing
also
such
like
a news,
CZ
and
was,
I don't want to assume that who wrote this on CNB platform, they didn't figure out the difference between Binance Smart Chain and Binance.
but here I'm not even talking about crypto media. It's already like additional big
No, I'm
mistake.
talking about the mainstream media here.
Mainstream, yes.
Yeah,
So this is how
the first who cracked the news was CNBC, I believe, and CNBC were mistaken, and I would love to think that they thought that claiming that the attack was toward Binance itself as an exchange might bring more readership to the article, but because any basic reading.
Do you really
about
think that
this,
they understand the difference?
sorry.
So you're convinced that they understand the difference?
I would love to see it this way, because otherwise it is really critical that they don't see the difference.
But we saw with the last recession, financial journalists struggling to read problems that were happening and relaying that back to the masses. Yeah. So it's I think there's a lack of understanding, genuinely.
I said there's two answers for this, but if I would like to give them kind of credit, maybe using Binance as an exchange in the title was more appealing for the audience.
Yes, but it's like, I really like how one of my good friends in crypto, he said, but journalism, it's like the same as a journalist would text that the Citibank, for example, was hacked, if in fact the SWIFT system was, in this case, was exploited. So what we should do as journalists to help mainstream media to deliver such kind of information better?
I want to give a little bit of point. Before I was running a marketing agency, I was like, still my articles on like Forbes, Huffington Post, all the top tier media outlets. And very likely I was always pushed to have a headline, because headline sells. Headlines means clickbait, it means traffic to the article, it means more advertising traffic. Everyone wants that. And yes, it's all about the quality content and you don't want to lose your reputation. But for certain media outlets, definitely not those who are here sitting in the panel, it's all about building the traffic. That means having as many clickbait articles like with Binance rather than BNB chain, as an example.
So you're trying to say that they don't exactly care whether people will understand it. They only care that there will be more traffic.
In certain cases, yes, I was myself basically exposed to that kind of journalism. It wasn't never said very bravely, like just top of you, but it's more like lightly communication, telling you should phrase your headlines. Yes, okay. That's how it was.
Kristina, how Cointelegraph at that time, how did you deliver this news? What was your headline? Do you remember with this news?
No, but definitely we understand the difference between
No. But I understand, because
but I was thinking, I think this is a big problem for any journalist.
I'm just trying, like in this case, so you would pay example how you delivered the title, because I'm really how the crypto media is the lead. If you remember, or if you can find this online, how was your title like delivering this news?
I will
I
check,
love
but
causing this drama.
Sorry?
I love when you cause drama.
Well, but this is actually one of the examples, what I've been observing as well as a journalist. This is one of the like very fresh examples, but it happened not once. And throughout the years, it's happening. And again, you what we can do as people in media, so to make mainstream media, first of all, maybe to explain it to them, and then make them to explain to other people who are not so really familiar with crypto what exactly happened.
So, if you allow me to take this, from experience, I say it was easier for create new editors and new journalists instead of transforming existing ones from mainstream media to crypto media.
Why?
Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for them to accept the fact. I recall one
Really?
one of the best editors I know. So we worked together, a lot of readings. And we've been meeting every 2-3 days to answer his question. And then he said, after a little bit of a crash in the market, then he said, you know what, Walid, yani, I am a believer in hard cash, and this kind of virtual world, it's not for me, and I don't want to go there. So from what I see in this market, I believe the mainstream media and the editors in this space didn't invest enough time to learn about this technology and this space. When I first heard about it, it was 2014. I saw Vitalik pitching Ethereum on stage, and I didn't understand a single word. And it took me 3 years of reading, and even in this part of the world, nothing in 2017 when they were launched Dubai strategy. So only then I could use what I know. But for 3 years, I did really my best to understand. But none of the editors here in town tried to do the same. So and media is media. It is the same way you do it for insurance or for telecom, or you understand, you do your best, and you share what you understood. So there's no difference between crypto media and normal ones.
So I found it, and yeah, it's super non-SEO friendly. So it's BNB chain suspense network following $100 million cross-chain breach exploit. And I think this actually brings me to what I wanted to highlight. We are always competing with Google, yes, and this is awful. Like always to find a way to be
Indexed.
to be indexed and at the same time to be faithful to the content. And this is awful. And mainstream media obviously have other resources, and also they prefer to use, as you said, Walid, they prefer to use Binance instead of Binance chain. For them, it's an opportunity also to be indexed first in Google. And we can't allow ourselves, because we are here to promote the real education for the community. And this is a big problem, I think.
Yeah, Triska, I would actually jump to you because, as you said earlier, you're trying in this case make a bridge between crypto and, in this case, like general media tell about entrepreneurship in crypto. Would you, in this case, address this situation? If, for example, one of your journalists would come with the news and they would publish this news, like Binance, the exchange was hacked instead of BNB chain.
I would use a different headline where I would say Binance suffered as a result of something. Be so specific in the headline, because I've got to bear in mind that our readership is not crypto reader. They're not necessarily crypto investors. They may have an interest in it to learn more about it, but they're not, I think everyone here, like I said before, is invested in it or very interested in it. So that's how I would tackle it. Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, it's a really nice example. Laura, I will jump right now to you, and I would actually ask this question all of you, because you're, as representatives of media, you also of the marketing in the past. You're dealing obviously with social media influencers who are becoming bloggers and who are delivering their news. Is that right? Am I right? Are you dealing with them or not? And my question is, it's very important. My question is here, social media influencers, they have a lot of followers. sometimes they want to push their own project they would like to highlight in your media. How you're dealing with as much objective as you can as a media if somebody is trying to push their own project. Social media influencers bring a startup for you to talk about. You go.
This is not a new thing, and not just pushing it. It's the same thing with, could be insider trading, could be leveraging actual big medias to push your narrative. Could be, for example, now was fined for 1 million for pushing some random cryptocurrency. So this was always happening, and crypto is just another industry where you're at. And it's more about when you're getting any kind of message about any kind of new product, you need to understand who is delivering you this message about the product. Source, a person, a media outlet, the company is trusted. Does he or she have the credibility?
How do you check whether this person is a source?
This is a very good question. So first of all, you need to understand if they have a large following, is this following real or is it bot?
Yes, but if, for example, they have a lot of followers, one example that I want to pay, and I don't want to say any names, but I have a lot of, as well, acquaintances, influencers, somebody who have millions of followers on YouTube and everything. And what I noticed that sometimes some of the projects that they're advertising is these projects obviously bought like some time slot in their video. As an option later on, I found out that it's a scamming project. But this person is a trustworthy. He or she been there for many years in the market.
One,
yes,
yeah,
okay.
So
but they have, for example, they might have some of the startups that they are helping out later on to be scams.
And that's how the person loses their credibility, their trust. It's like in a hedge fund, any investment company, you build a track record of how you trade for years and years and years. And yes, if you lose all the money overnight, you lose your credibility. So it's the same thing with influencers. You need to check their credibility, and then if you think you trust it's good, you just believe them basically.
Okay, Triska, how are you checking the entrepreneurs who are coming?
I never use an influencer or trust an influencer to do anything, because as a journalist you are trained to do things the proper way, to fact check, to verify, and do your due diligence in that way. So even if there's a story or a rumor, as a journalist you can't publish it unless you have, this is something that we do, unless you have 3 other people back thing minimum. So if an influencer comes to me and says, oh, I've got this startup and I want to, no, you advertising and marketing, you do not belong in the pages of a newspaper or a news website. And that's, I think, what you have to bear in mind. They're selling something, so let them sell it on Instagram or whatever platform.
Okay, by the way, a really good point. Triska, can you also dwell upon how do you fact check?
You talk to people. You talk to people in the industry. Okay. If there's data involved, you try and get the accounts. You get down to the actual gritty of things. So, yeah.
Okay. Kristina, do you work with social media influencers?
We work with everyone. This is about being able to talk to everyone and then combining all the sources in order to present us. It's incredibly important not to ever forget that we have an immense responsibility, that influencers do not, and they have their own risks in terms of their followers, but we have responsibility to keep our integrity as journalists. And this is not only about being on top of things, it's about choosing your experts. And you will talk to 10 experts, but then you will need to understand that maybe these experts are actually not experts, they just want to call themselves experts. And so it's incredibly important not to go for easy comments or easy information, but to spend time and energy and your resources to check everything. And sometimes people think that, being the quickest, the most up to date, it's not true. And sometimes we actually miss big breaking news. So to check with both parties involved, because this is extremely important for the integrity of journalism. And this is why journalism is different from influencers, from social media accounts. because objective information can come from someone who is outside of the box, who is looking at all the parties without any bias. Extremely difficult because we are all tending to be biased as human beings, and it's constant work with ourselves. You shouldn't be biased. Like, I talk to you, I like you maybe as a person, but I can't allow myself to write about you just because I like to check everything, and I have to bring other sides of and visions, and this is very.
By the way, I totally support that. And you know what? I totally as well support one of the thoughts of my friend in crypto who said, whenever anyone tells you that he's an expert in crypto, you see the door, you run away from that person because many years in fintech and crypto, they cannot even like foresee what it will be happening like in 1 month from now or even like even closer time. So I'll jump to you. How are you dealing with social media influencers, and how are you trying to stay objective in the world of crypto?
For me, the moment you publish your platform, it is your responsibility. It's not about who's your source and who got your information to you or from where you got this information. Due diligence. We do mistakes, yes, for sure we do mistakes, and we did it many times. But at least we were doing our best, and we were trying to provide the best possible. A silly example of today. So I had 30, so I was rushing to the venue here, and I saw the crowd outside, and I couldn't really be on time. But I look into the government exhibition, and the entrance was closed. And I went from there, no security, no check for the badge, and I'm here. So there's a glitch in the security system, right? Secure, everything is under control, but somehow I passed. And these mistakes will happen always because we're trying to follow some. We're working 24 hours, and this is really, people won't give it a value about the time frame that we are working with. So we're for the news coming out from Asia, and we're sleeping with the news coming out from the state. So this is 18 hours work per day.
But you mentioned a very important thing. We can do mistakes, but I think it's also part of our responsibility that those mistakes. It's super easy now online. We can just update an article and like as if nothing happened. And we should always write a disclaimer what was our, because this is again part of our integrity.
Yeah, that's true. Walid, I also would want you to comment on the recent announcement by Vara when we are talking about promoting new projects. Can you please tell us more what is being what is being suggested by Vara? Vara is the virtual asset regulator here in Dubai.
So the first thing happened when I received I called Vara and I asked for a meeting. Yeah. So this is the basic thing you should do to understand. And for us, we're coming out from Dubai, we're coming out from UAE. So this means that we are like, similarly, like Binance, like any other player in the market. So what VAR do, and maybe this is unfortunate that this is the first paper that they go out with, but what they are trying to do, they trying to minimize avoid so much chilling projects and scams in the markets.
Okay, thank you so much. Quick question because we ran out of time. How your media will look like in Metaverse?
I wish we're doing well in this world.
Are you working in this direction, right?
Hopefully, but we're enjoying now the time being. So Metaverse for us is something to happen later on.
Kristina. Well, Metaverse will help us look at the real world with a new vision and that actually it won't be a way to, run from the reality, but rather bring some new mindset to make the reality better.
Thank you, Triska.
I'm not sure you want to hear my opinions on the metaverse. They're not popular and they're not positive. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, in any case, we value every opinion. Laura?
Whoever makes a metaverse that lets experience the news and really feel the sentiment is going to be the next big thing in the metaverse.
Yeah. Give a big hand to our amazing panelists, Walid, Kristina, Triska, and Laura. I'm Maria. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for TDeFi Stage.